Boom shakalaka waka. What's up, everyone? We got some Carnitas tacos today. I know it's not much, but for me, I'm not like too hungry, but we got some food here. But these tacos are fairly pretty big in size, at least in my opinion. So, oh my gosh. Okay, Blackpink recently released their How You Like That MV, and I've been trying to hold back. I was actually thinking of creating a reaction channel, so be on the lookout for that. Starting a reaction channel probably mostly on K-pop for now, but we'll see how it goes down the line. But yeah, be on the lookout. And then also, we'll be getting into Tower God episode 13, the last episode of season 1. I'm pretty sure there's going to be season 2. The show is pretty popular, and I'll give you my impressions of what I thought on season 1 as a whole. But before that, let's get a bite to eat first. Let's get it. Got some salsa, some guacamole, and some tortilla chips on the side as well. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But speaking of Blackpink, man, ooh, the teasers looked fire. I wanted to make a reaction channel too, just for the fun of it as well. And I haven't been listening to K-pop as of recently, but since the quarantine, got a little more time on my hands, obviously, and thought I would maybe start a reaction channel. Seems kind of fun. So yeah, let's get a bite of this. You see that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get into the season finale, wrapping up the season 1 of Tower God, which would be episode 13. So this episode I really liked because it gives us pretty much Rachel's perspective from the beginning when she entered the tower and all the events that occurred later on during this exam. So originally, we know that Rachel actually entered the tower, I believe, before Bam, and he didn't actually tell us right off the bat that there must have been some mistake. Rachel wasn't actually the one supposed to be invited to the tower, but instead it was to be Bam. So at first, okay, he didn't gives her the option. You can take the test, and she's met with the same task that Bam had to complete, which was to crack that black ball in the cage with that white steel eel. And obviously Rachel says, this is unfair, I have no weapons, and how is this a fair trial? I'm going to be immediately swallowed by this creature. So, you know what? Hedon says that, okay, for now, I'll sit back a little bit, and I'm going to invite Bam to the tower, the original person intended. So Bam, you know how that goes. He completes the test. He does get help with Princess Yuri getting the Black March, obviously. But from the get-go, Bam definitely, has something that Rachel doesn't. And now, Rachel actually, she sees the whole thing going on, how Bam passed the test, and she's completely shocked as well. So, Hedon actually gives her an alternative. I'll let you climb the tower if you manage to get rid of Bam during these exams at some point in time. And then Rachel says, okay, she's willing to do so, to give up everything, even if stepping over people she formerly loved to get to her goal of reaching the tower. So she says that, okay, Bam has an all-powerful weapon, but I need something too. I got no aid from anyone else. So Hedon says that, okay, so if you remember that bodyguard, that big looking dude who I believe he was like a spear bearer in the same class as Rack, he's her bodyguard initially, if you remember. So you remember how that goes. Rachel tries to distance herself from Bam pretending to be Michelle Light, and you know how that goes. And she definitely in the back consciousness of her mind, she just definitely feels some feeling of guilt. So, but then here we get a little insight of kind of what happened behind the scenes. So, if you remember, I believe one of Yuri's lackeys, the short dude who's following her, he remembers seeing that navigator who Mong is one of the examinees in this part of the exam. He's asking why she's here, and you know, this navigator, she actually uh, meets Rachel some one-on-one sometime, and she says it's going to be opportunity created. You better seize this opportunity. So I believe some, you know, the remember that note that was given to Ho originally before you know he passed away. I believe there's some tampering with that on that part of the end, and then remember when Rachel supposedly got a bad injury and she got stabbed in a vital spot, I believe. Um, During the exam, Rack was right next to the bodyguard, and initially, probably Rachel probably would have died, but the bodyguard um, sacrificed himself in order for Rachel to survive. So I forgot to mention he didn't told that Rachel had her bodyguard by her side, and and bodyguard, if she was hurt in any other way, she can be resurrected only one time. So I believe this is the only time that she could use a bodyguard, and I believe throughout the rest of the exam, he's not anywhere to be seen. So that's why I believe he disappeared from this world. Yeah. Okay, let's get some more tea before jibber jabbing about the later part of the second part of episode 13. Ooh, yeah. But speaking of Blackpink, ooh, my gosh, the teasers, man, I can't even say enough. I'm a big fan of Blackpink. I don't listen to much K-pop these days, but I do follow like the mainstream bands pretty much. Like I only listen to pretty much BTS and Blackpink. But back in the day, I used to listen to Big Bang, obviously the Kings, the real Kings back in the day. But Blackpink, man, they're just different, man. I just love everything about them. The music's very good. The producers do a great job, and then every member of Blackpink has their own personality, and it really goes to show how much work they put into their music. So yeah, learn it. So moving on to the second part of this episode. So actually, Rachel at one point in time, she was having maybe thoughts of maybe Bam and I can actually climb the tower together. But then again, she's constantly reminded that she made a deal with Hedon, saying that if you can only climb the tower if you get rid of him. So she's backed into the corner and was willing to do so. And Hedon, oh excuse me, oh jeez. And Hedon makes a very good point that he can see right through Rachel and her intentions as well as a person. And he sees that yes, your goal may be able to see the stars up in the tower, but I believe you want to shine brighter than anyone else and brighter than a star. And immediately Rachel at that point in time says, "Damn, this guy can see through me. Yeah, I guess my intentions weren't hidden at all." So every trial that Bam and Rachel go through during this exam, she realizes that she's not special like him, and Bam now has a good group of friends around him, and Rachel's getting jealous and doesn't want to be left behind. So okay, now coming out of the exam, obviously Rachel comes out unscathed, spit out by the net dolphin mother, and everyone's asking where the heck is Bam. And then she says that Bam unfortunately didn't make it. He was killed by the bull, and everyone's very shocked and pretty sad as well. And the results of the test come out. So Leraro announces to all these examinees who partook in this test, they all passed, and he gave an update on whether if Bam is alive or not. So they couldn't find his body at all. So it's presumed that he's dead, and everyone feels guilty now, saying that now that we have to bring Rachel to the top of the tower, it's their duty to do so since Bam helped all of us, and he's just such a good dude. So now, but actually, Kun, I think he has a gut feeling that Rachel is not all who she seems. And he says to her, making a little sly comment before, I believe, departing to the tower, says, I wish I could have met Bam before you. So I think he knows about Rachel's true personality and the colors behind that fake smile of hers. So after all this, Lero immediately heads over to Han Sung Yu, saying, how much of this did you have to take part in this stupid part of the last exam? I felt like you did, he's insinuating that you did something. And after that, Han Sung Yu says everything just went as planned. And Lero immediately goes to Quan and says, you know what, I think I'm going to quit being a test administrator. This is it for me. And he also says to Quan as well, you need to take off that badge too as an administrator. So we'll see how this transpires later down the road. But of course, this is the season 1, right? You can't let the main character die so easily. And of course, Bam is alive. So remember that navigator who is part of the exam? She comes to Bam when he wakes up, saying that, telling her that, do you remember Rachel pushing you? And immediately he was kind of shocked and says, I want to know why. I need to see her right now. But the navigator says, just like anyone else, if you reach to the top of the tower, you can get everything you wanted and more as well. So the navigator actually offers to train Bam until he gets strong enough. And at the end of this episode, I think there's probably some time skip. Bam, I believe the person shown at the end is Bam. I think he's much taller. He's like a man now, grown man pretty much, and he has longer hair too. So, wow, Tower God season 1. After this whole Rachel fiasco, I was thinking maybe Rachel had a little goodness in her. There's a reason why she was doing this, but no, it was just purely out of greed and the character that among the fans in this community say that you will hate her for sure. But overall, season 1 for me, I think it was just average. It was nothing too crazy. But people say this is obviously just the prologue of the story. And it was a little boring because they just wanted to introduce the characters, the world, and the exams as well. But, the story just definitely seems intriguing enough for me. So I'm definitely probably going to check out the next season whenever it comes out. But it was good. It's okay. It's pretty good. But yeah, the dumpster fire of the Rachel fiasco and stuff like that. Oh man, I can't. Well, that's the one part I'm really looking forward to, and see how much Bam has grown when he meets her, and I don't know how he'll react when he sees her once again. But definitely, yes, I would recommend check out season 1 of Tower God. It's as I said before, it's the new age of anime, right? Tower God is originally a manhwa, which is pretty much the manga version, but in Korean. But actually, this new season in July, a lot of good anime are coming out, and then a lot of anime are returning from the coronavirus as well. And another what's that series called? Yes, another notable manhwa series that's coming out this summer, I believe in July, is God of High School, which is, I think it would be definitely down more at my alley. So pretty much, a bunch of high schoolers compete, I believe, and they're from all types of different backgrounds that use martial arts. So it definitely seems pretty cool there. And there's definitely some other series I'm excited that are coming this summer as well. And yeah, that's it for today's mukbang. I know I didn't eat much, but that was a perfect amount for me. Yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.